What's up, guys? Wes back with Auto Mafia Racing. We're here with Project Hurricane, our world record setting 3.7 liter V6 Mustang. I'm super happy with it. As you guys know, hopefully you watched the video, but check out this pass. This pass is actually filmed by 1320 Video, but check it out right here. So as you guys saw, we ran a 9.79 at 136 miles an hour. And then once we were through the beams at the end of the track, we smoked the whole thing out and it let go. So I'm gonna show you guys what I think happened. We're gonna talk about it. And then we're gonna talk about the mods it took to actually get the car to run a 9.7 at 136 miles an hour, because we are still on a stock motor. I know there's some of you that don't believe me, but we'll end up pulling this block apart and we will show you it is stock, stock, stock. And don't worry, we will build a motor eventually, and then we'll go way faster than any of you dreamed we ever could. So, to keep going here is the car. So what we think happened was when I was in the burnout box, the run before it blew up, I accidentally over-revved the car. Typically, I get it to shift through like second and sometimes even to third, and I can do like 80, 90 miles an hour in the burnout box, really smoking up the fat Mickey Thompsons that we got on this car, and it's awesome. So what happened was when we over-revved it, we hurt the motor. Now typically I have seen in these cars that they will actually have a ring issue in the back. We have a couple motors over here that have already done that, so we've seen it and we kind of know what happens. Now what happens when that happens is, so you start seeing smoke come out of our catch can here, and when you see that, that means you have something called blow-by. Now blow-by is not good. Blow-by for a 3.7 basically means it's impending doom. It's gonna blow up. That's exactly what I saw and knew was gonna happen. So we had some blow-by and I knew it was gonna go eventually, so we just sent it again, right? I mean, why wouldn't you do that? But after we made that pass, and the car actually shifted not well, as it hasn't never been shifting well. You guys kind of know that I've been struggling with getting the transmission to shift exactly where I want it for quite a while, and we're gonna remedy that issue here soon. But we actually got a clean 1 to 2, a clean 2 to 3, and then our 3 to 4, it short shifted. So it shifted at like 6,500 RPM. I know I need a helmet cam so that we can see the gauges, but it short shifted and we just rode out fourth. Well, when I let off the pedal, I think is when that ring fully let go, and then it started rubbing essentially. And when that started rubbing, it had no compression, it shot smoke out the turbo, which is why you see all this oil out of here and all on the window, you know, right there. But the good thing was, because it came out there, it went over the car, and I didn't die, right? I mean, obviously I thought I was on fire. You guys have seen the clips, it was kind of funny. But it wasn't that bad. It just smoked, it was done, and we had to be towed back. So that's what happened to the car. So now you guys know what happened. So I know all of you and all the new guys that are coming, they want to know what was actually done to the car so that we could actually run a 9.7. That's a 9.7 with a stock $500 V6 motor that was designed to be a rental car and nothing else. You know, it's designed for grandmas and moms to drive to the supermarket and for you to rent and hoon hardcore at, you know, Avis or Budget or whatever when you went on a vacation. But we actually made it run a 9.7. So here is what we did to make it run 9s. To start off, we have a turbo kit. Now this is our NPG turbo kit that we sell at Auto Mafia Racing. And we have it upgraded slightly, just a little bit. You can order the kit exactly like it is if you want to. The only thing that we upgraded was the turbo. So this turbo is a comp turbo. It is a 6875 turbo. It is oilless and water cooled. So we have no oil going to the turbo. It is just cooled by water, which is pretty sweet. We have a thermal zero blanket on the car. We're running Turbo Smart wastegates and wastegate and a teal blow off. That is it as far as power goes for the turbo system. That's literally it. That's all it takes. We're not running a boost controller. We have a 13-pound spring in the wastegate, and we literally are running direct to manifold, that's it. It's just running on wastegate. We have a BBK 73mm throttle body. We do have a Nitrous Express plate kit on the car, but we have not used it with boost yet. It is set up so that we can run it later down the road, and if we want to go back to NA, we can run it again there. We have our Mafia ported upper and lower V6 intakes on the car, and we run our NGK 6510 spark plugs gapped at 0.028. Now, to keep the car cool, we're running a stock radiator, stock fan, and we are running our overflow coolant tank from NPG that works with the turbo kit. We do have it set up to run water meth with a separate tank. We're not using that yet. We have our custom oil catch can, and that runs to both of the valve covers so that we can actually not have to worry about anything coming into the intake or over boosting. It just goes directly into the catch can, and I can see it pretty easily if we start getting blow by. So that's pretty much it as far as the engine goes power-wise. I know, it's simple. There's really not a lot done to it. It's a turbo kit, right? Now we have to get into what makes that turbo kit make power. So that's our fuel system. So you can't see it on this car, but we do run a standalone fuel system on this car. It is all by Aeromotive. We run an Aeromotive A1000 pump, separate lines to basically some custom welded injector rails. You can see everything's AN fittings on it. We run Fuel Injector Clinic 1650cc injectors, which are awesome. We highly recommend them. For our NPG kits, we already push our 1000cc Fuel Injector Clinic injectors because they're good up to like 600 horsepower. We wanted to go over that, and we're running a C85 fuel. So that's the next thing, C85 fuel. That's by VP Racing, all the way up there, Mega Power. C85 fuel is essentially ethanol and E85, but instead of being mixed with like normal gas or 93, it's essentially mixed with nitromethane. So yeah, some people think it's kind of cheaty, but you know what? Anyone can buy it. It is just a race gas. It smells like death and awesomeness at the same time, and it makes a hell of a lot of power. So on only 10 PSI, we were already making almost 600 horsepower in this car, about 560 agreeable horsepower. So adding 3 PSI, we were probably a little over 600 horsepower just at 13 PSI. Now we could still up that more if I don't over rev the car and make a lot more power. So that's all it is for power. 13 PSI, C85 race fuel, the injectors, that's all it takes. Now, the next thing is, if you look at the car, she's not a street car. She could be if we wanted to. I mean, we could take it for a cruise, right, Cody?
Yeah, we could.
If we put a seat in it. But it's a race car.
We built it to be a race car because we built it to run 9s and we want to go faster and eventually run 8s. But when you have a car and you want it to be fast, you make it light. So we did a lot of lightweight mods.
To start off, we don't run any air conditioning. There's no air conditioning down there. There's no air conditioning in the front. We have our front crash bar deleted, that's gone. We have a UPR radiator support, which you can kind of peek down there, and we have the UPR K member.
All of that stuff loses weight. We run Race Star 92 series wheels on it. Yeah, they're black, they're awesome, and we run Mickey Thompson tires. We run a skinny up front, it's a 17x4.5, and we run a 15 by 10 out back with a 275/60/15 tire on it. We run the Mickey Thompson ET Radial Pros on that last pass. We've tried a couple different ones, but they work pretty well.
Now a little more, we actually have more lightweight stuff on it. If you can see in there, we run Strange drag brakes on this car, front and rear. They're full billet setups, and they're drilled, slotted, all that stuff. Technically they're slotted, I don't think they're drilled, but they're very lightweight. They lose a lot of weight in the car. Now, under the back of the car, we have even more stuff going on.
So the back of the car, we have a full UPR anti-roll bar, which is welded in. We have the upper and lower control arms. Everything is billet, everything is chromoly, everything is double adjustable, and we have everything dialed in pretty dang perfectly. Now we also have the Viking suspension when it comes to the shocks and our springs in the front and the rear, everything double adjustable so we can dial it in exactly where we need it. We run about -3 degrees when it comes to our pinion angle, and that seems to work pretty well. We can keep adjusting as we get more power in different parts. So we do have a built transmission in the car so that we can hold the power. It was built by Brett LaSala, and it is a 6R80 still, and we run a Circle D converter. Now, the one we're running right now is a 3D-P, which is a 258 millimeter converter. We can sell it to you, or you can just buy the regular 3C or 3B converter. It's a 245 millimeter or a 258. We sell all that. It works great. We got good launches on it. Now, when we were doing that launch at that last one at the track, we didn't have good enough traction, and we weren't quite set up 100% for the new converter yet. So we only were cutting a 1/460 foot. We've done a 134 before, and we've launched at a lot of boost. We were only launching at 0 to maybe 1 PSI before I let go of the button, and we weren't getting very much out of it. So let's keep going on the car. We have deleted a lot of stuff off the car, like the windshield wipers. There's no windshield wiper motor, there's no windshield wipers in it. There's no AC system. And let's go into the car. Into the back seat, you can see we have an Auto Mafia Racing rear seat delete. We run a Kirky drag seat, no passenger seat. We have a quick release steering wheel, and we basically have a gauge and panel and switch set up in the middle. Now, I will say behind the dash, there's nothing anymore. We essentially have fully gutted it because we don't need a heater core, we don't need an air conditioning. We're trying to go fast, so we gutted it all to get rid of it so we could go fast. Everything is in the pursuit of speed. If you guys watched one of the last videos, you saw that we got the car weighing like 2,800 pounds before I was in it, so it's pretty light. We actually have 308 gears in here, and we have, along with the strange brakes, we have a strange full spool. So we don't have a limited slip differential, it's a full spool. Basically, it's like a welded diff, except it's not welded, it is just built that way. It is lighter, and we have 35 spline axles to go with it with extended studs on them, so that everything is really solid in our rear end. So to finish off kind of our circle of the car here, we don't have any lightweight parts as far as body panels on the car yet. That might be in the works in the future, but we're running all of our normal steel panels, the heavy trunk, but we took out the, the rear trunk liner and everything. Now our trunk is pretty lightweight, okay? We are running a full removable battery. We have a full throttle lightweight battery in here. I'm not gonna open that up because it's kind of a pain. However, it's pretty small, it only weighs like 10 pounds. Obviously, we have a full cutoff switch running to it. That is just to apply for the racing. Now you can see our A1000 down in here, looks pretty good, and that's a hell of a pump. It makes a lot of, flows a lot of fuel. Now here, you see, this is where our nitrous bottle sits, but there's no nitrous bottle in it because we weren't using it. So we took it out, again, we want it to be lighter. So here's the other major weight savings part in the car. You see this tank? This tank is for our fuel system. This is a 2.5 gallon fuel cell that we bought, and that is all we run. We do not run the stock system on the car anymore because the stock system weighs like 60 to 70 plus pounds, and it is pretty heavy actually, especially when you have to fill it up to make it be even and have enough so that when you hit the gas, it doesn't slosh. We don't get any slosh in a 2.5 gallon. We just fill it up once every run and a half essentially. So we saved a ton of weight there. So I'm just sitting here trying to think now. Cody, can you think of anything else?
I think you covered it all.
I think we covered it all. When it comes down to it, we have a lightweight drive shaft and a drive shaft safety loop on the car. So it saves a little bit of weight too. But other than that...
You need a drive shaft on.
Yeah, for these cars you have to put on 11 to 14, you have to install a one-piece drive shaft. We are going to come out with our own here that'll be a little cheaper than the other stuff that will release here in the next couple months. Excited about that, and a little cheaper. But it should still work. We'll install it on our car and run, 9s with it. But I think that's it. It really doesn't take all that much. You make the car light, you drive it like it, like you want to hurt it, like it stole money from you and you're going to beat the snot out of it like you don't care. And we don't. We're going for speed. We don't really care how long it necessarily lives when it comes to this car. If you have a street car, you're going to weigh 800 pounds more than this car. So literally you're going to be a second slower. We ran that 9.7 with the amount of power that really should only run a low to mid 10. But we have weight out of the car and we have it set up to be fast because everything's built on it and everything's light. So moral of the story, if you want your 370 to be fast, make it lightweight and give it 500-600 horsepower and you can run 9s. That's pretty much it. Lightweight, 600 horsepower, low 10s, high 9s, all day, have fun. If you guys want your car to be like Project Hurricane and run 9s, we literally can sell you the entire kit to get there. Every single part that is on this car is something that we can sell you to let you run 9s. It's not that hard. Anyone can do it. Yeah, it takes a little bit of money and it takes some installation, but all this stuff you could do in your garage. Nothing was crazy. It's a stock motor.
What do you think you put into it money-wise?
I have no idea. I quit keeping track because I didn't really want to know. I mean, that's how you can't keep track. But not that much, honestly. I mean, the problem is with the amount of money we have into stuff, it's a lot less than you guys will have into it because we're a dealership. We get parts, we get sponsorships. You know, this car is sponsored by Fuel Injection Clinic. It is sponsored by HP Tuners. It is sponsored by Circle D. It is sponsored by, I'm forgetting who else at the second, UPR, our main sponsor, UPR, that's been with us for years on every car we ever build, and always running with UPR. So we have a lot of people with the car, right? They help us out. Now, that doesn't mean free stuff. I'll tell you guys that. It doesn't mean that the car is built entirely free, because it definitely was not. I do have a significant amount of money in the car. Probably all said together, though, I think I have less than $20,000 in the car, including buying the car, which we bought for like $5,000. So what I like to say is that we can get you with a stock car to 600 horsepower reliably for about, and this is installed and dyno tuned, for basically $12,000 to $14,000. We can literally 600 horsepower, you run 10s all day with a set of wheels on it. That includes like wheels, tires, drive shaft, everything you really need to reliably do about 500, 600 horsepower. It's about $12,000 to $14,000. That's retail, including installation. So it's not that crazy bad, and any of you guys can do it. So what I want to see is everybody with a Cyclone ended up getting boosted because, yeah, we ran an 11.99 in this car, naturally aspirated. It holds that world record. We could go faster now because we made the car even lighter to go 9s. So we could probably pull off like an 11.5 naturally aspirated, but that's boring. So boost your Cyclones. They're fun. It's really not that expensive. You guys can do it. I want to see more Cyclones out here running fast. We might start swapping and figure out some swap kits for these cars so that you can put the motor and transmission in different cars and get that lightweight that you need, say for like, put it in a Fox body or an RX-7 or whatever you want. We'll get that standalone stuff working here shortly. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and us running 9s. We sure did. And we will be back with more. Project Hurricane's gonna go faster. We can't wait to do it. It's gonna be fun. But we'll catch you next time. Like, share, and subscribe. We're out.